Oh, hell, man. No, it's just not, damn it, man. I just don't know why I'm even bothering anymore. God damn it. Hi there, y'all. This here's Roger again. Just got out from a nice fine day of fishing out there in a local pond after a hard day of work here at the farm. I took myself a little farming job after a little stint doing some other stuff mentioned in previous videos, which I'm not really going to get into again because YouTube's got this new policy regarding profanity and adult subject matters and all that stuff, so I'm just going to leave that in the past. But anyway, I'm making this here video as a response to somebody I've dealt with in the past. This guy's name is Cattleprods911. Now, apparently this guy's got this fixation with this here 9/11 truth. And I mean, you know, this day and age, who cares about truth anymore? You know what I mean? That's kind of old-fashioned. You gotta get in touch with the times here. But anyway, cattle prods. Now, I don't know what the heck that whole cattle prod thing is all about. I mean, I'm assuming since he lives in Texas that he's got a lot of cattle running around or standing around, I guess. I don't know. I ain't got much experience with them, but the prodding part, I'm not really putting it together. But anyway, regardless, he made this here video talking about how Mark Levin and Sean Hannity were a bunch of liberals. And you know something? Nothing could be further from the truth. They are rock solid conservatives, my friend. About the best you can ever find. You know how I know? Because they're always mongering that fear. You hear me? They be mongering that fear. And that's the only way, that's the only stuff you can do with that fear, son. You gotta monger it. And that's what's gonna come to define conservatism for the next several decades, because empty-headed fools like myself who listen to them on a daily basis, as I do. And you know, I've read all the studies about how listening to people like Mark Levin can lower your IQ, and I understand that that's exactly what happens. But you have to understand, I don't care. And it goes back to this whole thing about all this truth about this or that or the other thing, like Al-Qaeda being supposedly a member of the Mujahideen in Afghanistan and all that stuff, and how they originally worked for us and how they got most of their technical know-how and all that hogwash from us. You know something? It don't matter, alright? Because 9/11 changed everything. One of the most important things that it changed was, you guessed it, the truth. Ever since 9/11, the truth don't matter none, because the truth ain't gonna do you no good if you're dead at the hands of some no-good terrorist. And I know what you're saying, there's only like 100 Al-Qaeda in Afghanistan, but you know something? It ain't matter none, because Al-Qaeda is the enemy. And if we spend ourselves into bankruptcy doing it and giving up all our civil liberties and all that stuff, well, it's just gonna have to be. Because that is what the mighty Messiah George W. Bush said. That's what Dick Cheney said and all them others. And Barack Obama, bless him, you know, the guy's a liberal, but he gets it. And I don't understand why you don't get it, Mr. Cattleprods. I mean, you call yourself a classical liberal, but what's liberal about wanting people to be free? And what's classic about it? I mean, it might be an old idea, you know, it was a big idea in the days of the founders of these countries, and for the record, the founders of this nation were terrorists. You know something? People don't like to talk about this, but it's true. I mean, they used unconventional war tactics to get them redcoats out of here. You know, those redcoats ain't weren't such bad guys. You know, I mean, sure, taxes were high, but that's something you got to get used to, man, because, you know, we're living in the age of the hope and the change. And, you know, I know I'm not going to be voting for Obama in the next election, although secretly I kind of like him because he does everything I agree with, but don't tell nobody about that, because everybody knows that I'm the go-to person if you want to know about neoconservative politics. But anyway, what the heck was I talking about? Oh yeah, this whole Mark Levin and Sean Hannity thing. Mr. Cattleprod, there's only one thing I want to say. There is one thing worse than being a terrorist, and that, my friend, is lying to the call screeners at Sean Hannity and Mark Levin shows. All right, nothing worse than that. I mean, if you were the one who brought down the Twin Towers, you would still pale in comparison to somebody who lies on the phone and says that you're going to say one thing and then say another when you get onto the show of the great one, Mark Levin, or the great American Sean Hannity. You see, that's something you gotta learn. The most important thing in life is being respectful to your leaders. As a matter of fact, not even just respectful, you have to be submissive to them. Doesn't matter if it turns out that your leaders happen to be people like Joseph Stalin, Adolf Hitler, or Anton Mussolini, or any of those types. You are respectful, you are submissive, and you keep your mouth shut. You do like them Ukrainians did, you know, back when Stalin was wiping them out. You know, you shut up, you sit in your home, and you pray for a miracle. And that's all there that you are allowed to do. Aside from that, you're not allowed to do everything. Or anything, I should say. Now, I'm not really talking too well right now, you know, all that redundant labor here. Oh, by the way, just for the record, I don't own this farm. I'm actually doing the old sharecropper thing now because I'm too dumb to own my own property. It's amazing that other neoconservatives can actually be successful property owners, considering all the mindlessness that goes into it, but we'll leave that topic for another discussion. So anyway, for all you out there who are following this Cattleprods911 guy, you know something, you need to think again, because one of these days, you know, they're going to shut down the internet, and for good reason too. You know, we got Al-Qaeda everywhere. You know, I mean, Al-Qaeda could be me. You know, I mean, there's white, blonde hair, blue eye Al-Qaeda right now. Some of them might not even, you don't even have to be a Muslim to be Al-Qaeda. You know, I mean, I bet one day they might uncover that His Holiness the Pope is Al-Qaeda. But anyway, y'all have a good day now. And remember, you're either living in fear or you're a god dang terrorist. Y'all come back soon now. You hear?